I was born to a 13-year-old drug addict mother in the inner city ghetto of Milwaukee. And so I decided I will not continue this cycle on. I made a promise to myself that I would be married. And my children would all have, one father. And now this is at 11 or 12 years old. Did not know how those things were going to happen. But the minute I start to believe, that's when miracles start to happen. I end up graduating and going into the Air Force, come back and end up meeting my husband, and now of 19 years, have 6 beautiful, brave, talented children. And with these children, I knew I needed a vehicle to be home. Growing up the way that I grew up, taking care of my siblings without an adult in the mix most of the time, I knew that I wanted to be a present, at-home mother, and I needed a vehicle to do that. I remember coming to you, babe. Remember that day?
I think I was brushing my teeth in the bathroom, and she said, "This is it." I was like, "What is it?" She says, "This is the one." And it was XANGO.
And it was XANGO. And I remember, and I'm saying, honey, you have to take a look at this. I remember, later that week, Eric and Heidi Welch drove 2 hours with their children to come to our house to explain it. And while they were there, they encouraged me to go to a convention that was happening in a few weeks. And I'm thinking, man, not a lot of money and everything, but if they're saying to do it, I'm going to do it because they've had success. So I'm going to listen to the people that have had success. And if he can do it, we can do it. So I went to that convention in Orlando, Florida. Blew my mind how real and genuine everyone was. It was such an amazing thing, and I knew it. I started asking, all right, how do you do that thing? How do you get to that 1K? Didn't really know what it was, but I want to get there. And so that brings us here, 3.5 years later, and having the opportunity to work with a group of people and a company that is 100% behind you. The company's real, products are real, comp plan is real, and they show up. It is just for real. The XANGO family is such a real deal. So one word I would say to anyone that's taking here in this convention is just this: simply believe.
Well, I can tell you that network marketing has been for me the most exciting thing in my life. When I was in school, I couldn't wait to get out because I was full of enthusiasm and passion for life. And as the years go on, you kind of lose a little bit of that. But when I found network marketing, I found I had something that could deliver hope to people I couldn't find anywhere else. We don't know what other people are going through. We have no idea what their circumstances are in life, but when you realize that you have something to offer them, it changes everything. We have regular meetings every week, and on Tuesday night we have a fellow who comes to our meeting every week, and he doesn't do a great deal in the business, but he says, "You know why I come here every week?" I said, "No, Dwayne, why is that?" And he said, "Because this is the only place in my life I can come where people are smiling and they're happy." He says, "It lifts me up for the whole week." And I said, "That is fantastic." We offer hope to people, and our founders have put together the most beautiful vision of network marketing that the world has ever seen. They've got the whole ball of wax. And when I first looked at this company, I examined the eyes of those guys. I bought all the videos of the early conventions, and I looked deep into their eyes, and I thought, are these guys the real deal? And I came to the conclusion they were, and I tell you what, they never let me down. They are the real deal. I love the story of the man walking on the beach, and after a storm had washed up all the starfish on the beach, and he's picking up a starfish and he's throwing them back in the ocean. And someone else came jogging along, and he's saying, "What are you doing, man?" And he says, "Well, I'm throwing those starfish back in the water so they can live." And he says, "Look at all of them." He says, "You're not going to make a difference." He said, "I made a difference to that one." And that's the way it is in this business. We can make a difference, you guys. When you can have a business that where you help enough other people get what they want out of this life, and you focus there, you can have anything you want. What a way to live. This truly is XANGO, life as it should be. How great is that?
In March of 2004, I went to the doctor for my yearly checkup. I wasn't having problems, I just went for my routine checkup. The news they gave me that day was devastating. They told me I had ovarian cancer. How could that be? I felt healthy. I was working a job, I had a family and a household to run, and I had just started my XANGO business the year before. How was I going to do all of that while having the cancer and going through chemotherapy. I had some choices to make. I could stop working my XANGO business while I dealt with the cancer. I'm sure people would understand. Or I could choose not to let it steal my dreams and instead focus on my business instead of the cancer. I chose to focus on my business, my dream, my life. Well, that choice gave me the time freedom I have always wanted. I was able to quit my job and just do XANGO. With this kind of time freedom, my family has been able to travel where we want, when we want. I no longer have to ask my boss for permission to go on vacation. I love the flexibility that working from home offers. That 20-foot commute to the office is heavenly, especially in the cold winters. But this is life, and it's not always going to go smooth. At some point in our lives, it seems like we all get hit with something tragic, but it's how we react that will determine the outcome. It might not be a life-threatening disease. It could be a breakup of your relationship, the loss of a loved one, or even a financial disaster. Life can be unfair at times. Whatever you do, don't let it rob you of your dreams. When a crisis occurs, stop and think what your choices are, and then stay focused. Sometimes I look back at the chain of events that happened in my life and the choices I've made along the way that led me to where I am today, and I'm so thankful that I chose XANGO, and I'm so thankful I chose to live my life.